Hello, everyone, and welcome to Monday. Bob and Phineas. I'm Bob. He's Phineas TF. Say hello.
Good afternoon, everybody. Hoping everybody's having a happy Monday.
Yes. Another Monday sliding in. The weeks just seem to go by so fast. I just don't know, man. Here we are already more than halfway through August, and it just seemed like 4th of July was yesterday.
Time flies. Time definitely flies when you're having fun. So there we go.
I guess you've heard what the bullfrog said, right?
Yes, indeed.
Ain't time fun more flies.
Yep.
So. All right, let's see. Now, you told me you got the windows open up there in the north.
I got the windows open up in the north. The temperatures dropped down. We had one heck of a storm yesterday, and temperatures dropped from in the high 90s, low hundreds, and we're now down to the low to mid 70s right now. So it is quite lovely
Wow.
out, and Mrs. Claus is upset because I've got the windows open and it's just blowing all the dust around that
Oh,
had.
my.
So,
Yeah. Well, we're under heat advisory here today. I'm not sure. Maybe she'll throw the bot up here in a second, and we'll see what our actual temperature is. I don't have it on my screen right now, so when that gets up, we'll mention that. But how was your weekend?
it was a very productive weekend here. Got a fair amount done around the house and got to run some errands as well. So it was overall a pretty darn good weekend here. Just a lot of little tasks getting done. So we're good. So
Very
how about
good.
you?
Well, I spent my weekend pretty much here, sitting right where I'm at right now, working on future things and things that need to be caught up still from past weeks. I know we've mentioned this before, but every time you take a day or two off, it compounds and just that much harder to stay caught up or get caught back up. So that's where I spent my weekend. It was a good weekend though. When
Good.
too hot to really do anything outside, so where better to spend it than on a computer and being here with my family.
Excellent. Excellent. Always good to spend time with family. And from what I can see, it's about 99 degrees Fahrenheit in Dallas, with a humidity real feel of 106. So definitely quite hot there. So
It's
don't
hot. It's definitely hot.
envy all. Don't envy all whatsoever. Uh, um, I do see Kane Smith says it's 92 where he's at, and John Schnagelberger in Colorado says it's 96 in Colorado. So it's hot all around. So.
Yeah, that big high pressure dome that's over the central part of the United States this time of year really wreaks havoc on everyone within the central part of the United States and western states because this is their hot time of the season. Although the monsoon
Yep.
season is there, they will get some rain late, in the afternoons. But
Mhm.
again, what does rain do? It cools it off for a minute and then it gets sticky and hot again. So
Definitely, definitely. And hey, you could have the rain that they're expecting in North Carolina. They're already beginning to evacuate some of the Outer Banks and around Cape Hatteras and Nag's Head. So they're looking at getting hit with one of the first hurricanes of the season. So wishing them good luck and Godspeed. So
yeah, and that thing was supposed to stay out between Bermuda and the eastern seaboard, but it blossomed from a tropical storm to a 3 or 4 overnight. So it hit warm waters and went crazy. And once it gets up there into those warmer waters, long-term forecasting, that cone gets bigger and bigger on those weather maps. When you see it,
yep,
you just never know.
yep,
All it has to do is sweep the eastern seaboard and wreak havoc, like you said.
yep,
All right, let's say hi to some folks. Looks like Mitch Allen says it's hot in Dallas. It is, Mitch. Good to see you.
yep. Bill Coates has joined us on YouTube, as has Kevin Scarf. Good to see both of you. Everett Prostrollo in Georgia has joined us as well. I do know he and Dana are getting ready for Northern Lights Santa Academy, so that's coming up soon, definitely. John Schnagelberger, as I said, from Colorado. Good to see you as well. Santa Mitch from Texas, definitely. Uh, Diane Veen from St. Louis. The couples clause, not sure which couples clause that is, if that is Chris and Kimmy, or if that is Doug and Jenny, or all of them together. Who knows? So good to.
Could be. I see Doug has commented on his Santa Doug profile. So says, good afternoon, Bob Phineus, and of course, the ever popular Angela.
Kane Smith has joined us from Alabama, and Sue Radloff from the Michigan area has joined us as well. And she's watching us while waiting to get her tires inspected. So thank you for joining us.
That's a good way to spend your downtime, for sure.
Yes,
just join us and join in with the fun.
Yeah.
All right. Well, go ahead.
Go ahead.
I was just going to say we had a long summer. It seems like we've been lucky. Back on the weather, we've been lucky that it hasn't really been the apparent temperature hadn't been extremely hot, but again, the humidity makes it feel so bad. So I did notice. We were talking this morning here in our household that the Farmer's Almanac has called for some snow here in North Texas this winter. So multiple chances for measurable snow. So we'll see if that happens. We don't get it every year. We only get it periodically, but it's always welcome when it comes because it only sticks around a day or two and it melts and it's gone.
Yep.
It's not like up north where, great white tundra sets in for the winter.
And we've got Jim Barrett from my neck of the woods joining us, as has Paul Anderson. Good to see both of you from Canada. Rick Rector from North Carolina is joining us, and hoping all is well where you're at in North Carolina, Rick. So good to see you as well. Santa Jerry from Missouri, where it is 100 degrees. So it's quite warm in Missouri as well. So
did you mention Bill Stockwell? He's joining us from Michigan.
Nice to see you, Bill. Thank you for joining us. So good to have you all here, and nice to have a nice international crowd here. So good to see everyone.
Yeah, so it looks like we've got a good crowd started here. So let's just go ahead and move along, and let's go ahead and let's do the Santa Bee Inspirational Weekly Message and Video.
Ho, 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 and happy day, my friends. Santa Bee back with you here again today. And today we're going to come back and talk about those 4 P's you need and the one that you don't. Last week we talked about preparation. Today we're going to talk about progress, moving forward. Whether it's on your backstory, whether it's on your wardrobe, whether it's on your heart, which is a place we can all do some work. That progress is the thing we should always strive for. Strive to keep moving forward. What's the next step? What's the next layer? How can I be better? Just better. Those are the things that we need to focus on the most. Not just in our Christmas portrayal, but in our lives in general. Be well, be blessed. I love you all.
Great message. Thank you, Santa Bee. Robert Wood, for those who don't know who Santa Bee is, that's Rob Wood. He's up in Missouri and part of the TNL network team. And we're always excited to see what he brings us on Monday with the inspiration of the week.
Yes, indeed. Thank you once again, Santa Bee. Looks like we've got Santa David and Bill Gorbett from Ontario joining us, and of course Mr. Trivia himself, AJ, has joined us as well. Good to see you, AJ. We were kind of worried about you last time. So.
Well, AJ said he got a brand new suit from Doug. How about that, AJ? Fantastic, man. Have you already got any pictures with it? Have you put it on and got pictures yet? It's like David says he's sitting on the balcony. It must be nice, guys. I tell you, it's again, we just stay in because we go out and it's really easy to overheat at our age, so we stay away from the heat. We're looking forward to those days where we can go out and sit on the patio and maybe even fire up the fire pit and enjoy it.
AJ says he's just tried it on. He hasn't taken any formal photos yet, so
snap a LP.
Can't wait to see it, AJ.
Snap an LP. That's right.
Doug's work is always good. Doug's costumes or suits are always wonderful. So
you don't have to have your beard on. Just show us what the suit looks like.
Yep.
All right, let's go ahead and let's get into our Satan burger today. Another fantastic topic. As always, this is the part of the show where we invite you to give us your thoughts, your comments, and uh, let's have a chat.
So today's Something Burger goes back to when we all started out as a first timer in our first season, and we faced the huge learning curve of becoming a Claus, a Christmas performer, what have you. And now, setting aside how much to charge, how much to bill, how much contracts, et cetera, what was the main question you wished you have the answer to when you were starting out as a Christmas performer or as a Claus? What answer, what information would have made your first season easier? So for me, my the one thing that would have helped me immensely was just better understanding a lot of the cultural differences between the English Anglo-Saxon kind of Christmas beliefs, and some of the Nordic and Germanic beliefs and stuff like that. Because where I live, we've got a huge German, we have a huge Italian community, we have a huge Portuguese community, and everyone has a cultural difference in how they view Saint Nicholas, how they view Santa Claus, how they view very much the other Christmas characters such as Krampus, La Befana, and all of the other characters associated with Christmas, and just having a better cultural background as to all of the different characters and how they're portrayed would have helped me immensely, particularly. So that was the one thing that I wish I had better information on when I started out as a wee little elf.
Yeah, and I'll follow up on that with the same thing. I mean, for us down here on the southern border, of course, we get the influx of folks coming from South, Central America, South America, and even all points around the world have entered through the southern border. So our diversity down here has really, really changed through the years. But for me, I just wish that when I was in school and they offered free Spanish lessons, that I had paid attention and would have thought that I would have had a need for that at the time as a youngster. I didn't see a need in it, so I didn't pay a lot of attention. And it wasn't a graded activity in one of the schools I was in. It was more you leave your main classroom, go to a vocational classroom with a closed circuit TV, and sit there and watch Spanish lessons basically off the TV. It wasn't anything that we got grades on or took tests on. It was more was a service that they supplied. I wished I'd have paid more attention then. And of course, then in high school when they offer, when you have to have a foreign language, if I'd have just learned more than just the basic, I know plenty of single words. Putting those in sentence form is a little bit harder. I can't do it. As everyone always will tell you about foreign languages or other languages, is sometimes you can understand what folks are saying, but to turn around and carry on a conversation back with them is something I just can't do. So, and with me at the mall where I'm at, a large portion of our clientele, children that come to see us, whatever you want to call, uh, visits, is Hispanic and Latin America. So that would have been handy. Luckily, though, we're able to still, ask Santa to the children, convey, even if it's with single words or gestures. But I think that's the one thing that you hit on, Phineas, is the language barrier.
Definitely, Santa Allen has commented that his his Spanish does have some lacking. Let's see. Welcome, Eric and Moesha. Good to see you. Thank you for joining us. Santa Jerry had no idea what kind of questions he was going to get from the children because he discovered they are much smarter than he would have expected. So
Oh yeah.
that is always the case, and especially now that they've got the entire world's information in their pockets, they can be very quick on the draw with the googling and their thumb typing. Santa Doug noted that he wished he had better preparation for handling tough questions, such as handling issues like grief, divorce, missing family members, the ever, the my daddy is in heaven, can you bring him back? How to stay in character under pressure, managing adults who tease, skeptical older children, or even hecklers. Remembering the magic and keeping the joy alive for yourself, not just for the audience. And yeah, that's all big stuff. And actually, Doug, I will be talking about that when I'm digging deeper later on today about that type of situation.
Yeah. You know, for me again, when I took Tim Conahan's class after my first year, I realized just how little I thought. I really in reality knew what I thought I knew more than I did going in. You when you're looking at it from a layman's term, it seems so simple. It seems elementary on the face of things, but truly, you get in those scenarios where you kind of get stumped and you start to you start kind of breaking out there within. And the last thing you want to do is let the children and family see that. So you try to stay cool under pressure. And for me, again, I've said this before, but there's still times when I have to use it. Diversion. You have a child ask you something or looking for a certain answer from you, and if you can divert them onto something else, they'll be glad to forget what they had asked and answer your question because they want to please Santa. But again, Tim gave me all the basic tools. The basic, in the back of his book, he has the different terms and things that questions from children, but the hard ones truly were not in there. But I think once you've got used to answering and you got those basics from Tim, that kind of projected you into being able to come up with answers quicker and faster for those hard questions.
Definitely. And the hard questions always take you by surprise
Yeah.
because it could be, grandma or grandpa or dad or the dog or whatever. Or can you make mom and dad love each other again because they're getting a divorce? And always is it so they will always take your breath away, but you become more adept at answering them as you get experience and how to handle them as who your character is as Santa Claus or as Mrs. Claus. Oh,
And again, you mentioned bills and contracts. I think contracts was another one, and I hear this a lot too. And this is something we taught in the Sat Bob's course and still do in uh, NP Cornerstones, and that is about how to bill, how to price your services, how to fill out the contracts. Chrissy Kovic, one of our instructors for North Pole Cornerstone, she and for Set Bob's, she has a excellent worksheet that her and Gordon put together. Gordon's initial portion in the first book, the business book, was kind of really confusing for many people. I have heard this from so many that took our class that they went out more confused than they did going in when it come to that. And so him and Chrissy sat down, simplified that. Chrissy came up with a worksheet that really simplifies it, and you're able to fill that out in class and figure out more of that. And again, Phineas, you've been to Cornerstones now twice, and you've seen that. But for you being a veteran that you are, you were way past that. But still, it's interesting to know that the new folks coming in, the
mhm.
first 5 years, let's say, that still struggle with contracts. That really, really, really helps.
Yep. Santa David stated that when he first started, he would have loved to have a memory trick for names because children light up when Santa remembers their name. Having a helper whisper names or a system in place would have made it easier from the start. And he then chimes in, having Phineas to help get that name or control the line goes a long way. And yeah, I like to think I'm pretty good at feeding names and other information to Santa without making it seem pretty obvious uh, to the believers that I'm feeding names to Santa. or Mrs. Claus, so that's always good. And welcome, Randall. Always good to see you, my friend. Nice of you to join us. So Kane Smith supports Bob. He took 2 years of Spanish in high school and a semester in college, but he still finds himself trying to learn Spanish at the beginner level. Learning another language is always a learning curve. I can speak French, not well, but I can read it quite fluently. And when people talk to me, I know what they're saying. But because I don't talk enough in French, I don't think in French fast enough to have a conversation these days. But I'm working on that. Kevin
Kevin's
Scar,
got one there for you.
pardon me?
Kevin's got one there for you that starred.
Yep. Kevin learned quickly to never assume that the adults with the child are actually mom and dad. Santa has put his foot in the mouth too many times. Yeah, I always ask who the big people are with Santa or with the children. That's usually good. Or ask, are you their bodyguard? Are these two big people with you? Or do I need to call security or something like that, just to get the conversation? And that way I can find out. Oh no, silly, he's my dad, and this is dad's girlfriend or dad's special friend or something like that. So, but
Oh
you
yeah,
never assume that the adults are actually mom and dad. They could be grandparents, they could be aunt and uncle, or what have you. So lots of opportunities to.
so true, Kevin. I'm going to share an experience with you from the mall. Had a little girl. She was probably 7, 8, maybe, and we had a really good visit. And of course, I mentioned to her, "Who are those? Are those folks over there with you, mom and dad?" And she looks at me and she says, "No, silly, that's dad. That's dad's girlfriend. Mom's at home." That can mean many different things. I just kind of went, "Okay, let's move along
Moving along.
to other thoughts."
Santa Mitch likes to say that, is that your sister, when pointing to potentially who could be the mom.
Yeah, I've done that too.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah, make fun out of it. I mean, lighten it up, make it fun. Use things out of the ordinary to bring the child into engagement. So
Yep. And Randall confirms that it's always wonderful to get the child smiling by saying something silly. And yeah, that's kind of the idea, is that if I can get them smiling and relaxing, and that'll help them get ready for their visit with the big man in the red suit. So that's always a good thing. So
that's right. That's exactly right.
yep.
Okay, that was good. I don't see anything new coming in there. I think that was a great session. Love it when you guys add your 2 cents worth, because that's what this is all about.
Yep.
Like I said, get in the chat and tell us what you think on these. It helps everyone. We all learn a little bit. We're all able to share what worked for us. Looks like Carl White's got one here.
Carl says that he sometimes see moms and dad that he originally thought were the grandparents, and it's like, well, yeah, having kids can do that to you. They can prematurely age a person. So
I've had that's went both ways for me. I have messed up on that one, and of course, I think the biggest one for me, and I've learned my lesson finally. At least I hope I have. Don't assume, as was mentioned. Don't assume, because little boys wear their hair longer. Younger boys have more soft features. Uh, I have called little boys little girls, and I've even called a couple little girls a little boy. Again, tom girls or tomboys, whatever you want to call them. So don't ever assume. Just try to work your way around and figure out what works best for you when you get in that situation. Don't just assume that it's a boy or a girl.
Santa and I do a Christmas party with one of the local unions, and what they do is they purchase a gift for each child in each family. And what they do is they have the gifts wrapped up. We don't know what they are, but they have colored labels. So a certain color for boys, a certain color for girls, and
Good
then the
idea.
age is printed on it. So I've learned to ask, who's the oldest person here? Because there are times where it's just like, because they all have the same hairstyle, or they were all given brush cuts, or what have you, or they all have beautiful long hair and soft features. So, there we go. John Schnagelberger says, sometimes asking if Trouble is their name breaks the ice, and just tell them you were told Trouble was coming to visit today. And again, that's another one to make the light.
I like that, John. That's a good one.
Yep, I've also found asking for the name might confuse things even more because Chris can be anything. So a
And so
lot.
that's just how helpful these chats can be
Yep,
with Something Burger.
yep. So wonderful engagement. Thank you everybody for your answers and chiming in with us.
Like
So
Santa Marcus joined us. I thought I saw someone else up here that had joined in. I guess you said hi to Gary. So,
yep, Gary has joined us, and yeah,
all right. Okay. Well, you know what? That was a good segment. I don't see anything else coming in at this time. So I think let's just go ahead and move along and let's go to our santascloset.org. I don't know if you watched Wednesday night or not, but Scott made a mistake, said .com, and we all corrected him really quick.
yep.
santascloset.org, and we'll be right back with our trivia.
Hey everyone, Angela Mack here for Bob and Phineas Live, the show about nothing. Season 4 of Bob and Phineas is brought to you by santascloset.org, where you can find all your accessories for the discriminating Santa, Mrs. Claus, and the elves. Visit Santa Wade's website at santascloset.org today, where they are known for delivering unique, value-packed Santa and Mrs. Claus accessories since opening in 2004. The goal has always been to provide both a superior customer experience at a tremendous value. Their products are fairly priced, and Santa Wade strives to bring many different products to the Claus community. Visit the website and make your next season a truly special one. This is Angela Mack reminding you all to catch our show every Monday at 3 p.m. Central, presented by TNL Network Productions. Thanks for watching. Now let's get back to Bob and Phineas in the TNL studios in today's Monday Santa's Closet Trivia.
So, real quick there, Randy says, and some names are so different. And that's another good point. Boy, names nowadays, what happened to Randy and Mike and Bob and the simple names, right?
Yep. Yes, indeed. Anyways, for today's trivia question, this should be an easy one for everybody. So, what popular Christmas rock song did the Beach Boys release in 1964? What was the date of its release? And we need exact date, and who produced and arranged the song. And that should be a fairly easy one. So that would be good. And once again, winners for this one, their names go into the hat for a scholarship for North Pole Cornerstones 2026. And you also get a little treat bag from santascloset.org from Wade and Scarlett. So thank you, Wade and Scarlett.
Yes. They was part of the Nashville, Tennessee learning experience last weekend. I helped put that on, and it was a great class. Of course, the Kringle brothers were down there. There was a number of folks that were there that participated in that. It was good to see the Nashville group back together, out learning. We did classes there 2 years. Sat Bob's did, Gordon and I, and that is such a great group of folks over there in Nashville, and they have grown by leaps and bounds since we were over there in 2020. So good to see them back out with educational opportunities again.
Excellent. Always good to see the groups growing and thriving and creating stuff like that. So,
yep. And yes, I am red. Had someone comment on top of red. That's just my skin tone. I don't know. It seems like the older I get, the darker I get in red color.
I think it's your camera setting.
Oh, okay. Well, I thought maybe it was just my skin tone when that was mentioned. Again, do have quite a bit of Indian blood in me, so that could be for my skin tone. I'm not sure. But anyway, maybe my Facebook setting is messed up or something. I'll have to check into that after the show. I go trying to do it now, I might push the wrong button.
and Doug, we saw your answer. It's a Christmas song, and what you said is not a Christmas song. So,
and so far today's went pretty good. So I'm gonna keep my fingers crossed and not pushing the wrong buttons. Yeah. So you guys work on that. Yeah. I mean, our producer said, "Man, you're making them questions too hard. You need to ease up a little bit on these folks." So we trying to make them a little bit easier, something more commonly known. Now there is a couple of things you would have to go research there
Yep.
Again, but hey, what's the fun if you don't research and learn from it, right?
You got to learn. It can't just be like, yeah, it's got to be. We want you to do some work for it. Come on.
Part of the experience. That's right.
Yep.
That's exactly right. After all, the scholarships worth $4.59 just to get your name in the hat. It's worth
Yes,
that.
indeed.
So
Yes, indeed.
and
And Wade and Scarlett have been putting some pretty good stuff in the care packages too.
they've been really stepping it up, doing a great job there. And the t-shirts, I thought he might have one t-shirt. I found it recently that he's got multiple different printed t-shirts. So even if you win twice within a 6-week span, you get 2 different t-shirts. Just if that does happen and you have one, and of course they started keeping records last year of who was winning and what they were sending as gifts. That way they didn't just send the same generic stuff out every week. They try to personalize those gifts to how many times you won, what you won before, so forth and so on, which
Yep.
they've been really, really good about. And so anyway, it's worth your time. The more you play and the more you win, the more times your name goes in the hat, the better your odds are for
Yep.
winning one of those scholarships.
Yep. Thank you, Mitch, for joining us. Have a good afternoon, good evening. Good to see you, sir. So thank you for joining us.
Yep. Thank you, Mitch. Okie dokie. I guess at this point it's time to let's go ahead and play our 2 rolling commercials, and we'll be right back. All right. Up in Chatterbox News, we're going to jump in here real quick. Hilton Garden Inn Conference Center, Edmond, Oklahoma City North. That's Edmond, north of Oklahoma City, a northern suburb. February 12th through the 15th, 2026. NP Cornerstone. Northport Cornerstone's $4.59 includes 7 chef-prepared meals and transportation to and from the hotel to Bricktown Entertainment District via commercial bus for our Valentine's night out. If you're interested in going, jump over there and register, and we hope to see you there in February. Also, breakfast is included if you're staying at the Hilton Garden Inn, which is our host hotel. Fantastic facility, giant conference center, really, really, really nice hotel. One of the nicer ones I've stayed in, especially for the Garden Inn chain. All the Hiltons are really nice, but this particular location is well managed and taken care of. We were there in 2020 with Sat Bob's. Still the same folks there 5 years later. That's a testament to something in itself. Okay, Phineas, over to you, sir.
So coming up in Louisville, Kentucky, August 29th to 31st, the Santa Summit and Boot Camp 2025, presented by the Santas of Color Coalition. You can register for their boot camp, which will include lots of instruction from Santas like the Santa Smithers, Hop Santa, and Daisy Kenesha Ducray at santasofcolorcoalition.com. Great learning opportunity in Louisville, Kentucky. Coming up in Lancaster, PA, September 3rd to 7th. Unfortunately, registration is closed and locked in for that, but I guess you could contact them to get on a wait list, perhaps, is the Santa Gathering in Lancaster, Pennsylvania. Once again, just a wonderful gathering of Santas, educational, visiting the sights and sounds of Lancaster, PA, including Dutch Wonderland and one of the Sights and Sound Theater. I do believe it's the story of Daniel and the Lion's Den they're doing there, so lots of opportunity there. September 18th to 21st, 2025, Santa's Nana's Holiday University is coming to the Windy City in Hoffman Estates, Illinois, and it's hosted by the Northern Illinois Christmas Entertainers. Santa Nana's Holiday University offers a school from a woman's point of view, and it's a different perspective, designed for all entertainers, though, including Santas, Mrs. Claus's, elves, solo performers, couples, and more. It gives you hands-on breakout sessions to give you real tools to enhance your own portrayal. Low tuition rates include 2 lunches and a dinner, as well as snacks, beverages, and a graduation ceremony as well. Go register at santanana.com. Also coming up in September is Kringle University online, both the regular Kringle U with Jeff McMullen, September 9th to October 7th. And there's also Mastering Magic of House Visits, September 8th to October 6th, online with Jeff McMullen. And in July 2026 in Branson, Missouri, Spangle the Clown will be hosting once more School of Santas 2026, featuring the keynote instructor, Joe Barney. So a wonderful learning opportunity with Joe Barney. And once again, you'll be treated royally by Spangle, Getta, and everyone at School of Santas. So.
And just confirmed today, Clay Cooper will be one of the Branson shows that we will attend in July 2026. If you have been going every year like I have, we went a number of years back, one of the first years, I think it was second or third year, to see Clay Cooper. Fantastic show, man. It was really one of my favorites. There's been quite a few, and they're all good, but Clay Cooper is definitely on top of his game, and so that will be one of the shows for the lineup for 2026. Looking forward to that. All right, Phineas, I have a little surprise for you here.
Uh-oh.
Yeah, you ready to dig deeper?
Yes, I am.
All right, well, you mentioned about that hat last week. We took and burnt that hat. Not that one. Anyway, let's go ahead and roll in here to Digging Deeper with Phineas.
Woohoo! Wonderful. Thank you very much for the new introduction, Bob. And thank you, Santa Doug, for some of the graphics that was used in that introduction. Really appreciated. So thank you. Amazing. Always good to have incredibly talented people in the wheelhouse to help out. So really grateful for that. And actually going back to something Santa Doug said earlier in the conversation during the Something Burger, he was commenting on he wish he had more information on staying in character under pressure. And this is what I was planning on talking about regardless. Folks who follow me on social media saw that I posted a picture of a very confused and bemused looking Phineas yesterday on social media, and I will post it to the Tuesday Night Live page after this show is done. And it was me after doing a show that was initially scheduled to be a partnered performance. It was going to be at a American Clown Academy of Christmas Artists. It was going to be bedtime stories with Santa and Phineas. And it was a scripted show with Phineas and Santa, who was going to tag team off and spend about 90 minutes sharing story time, songs, the whole 9 yards, in front of the attendees at the Academy of Christmas Artists, which included people like Leon McBride, Lee Andrews, and David Milmine was there. There were several other instructors well known in the Santa community. And as I was driving down from Canada to Forsyth, Georgia, I discovered that my partner was not going to be able to perform. Now, I had not brought Phineas's regular wardrobe because it was going to be bedtime stories with Phineas. So I brought Phineas's nightshirt and nightcap and a whole pile of stuff specific to that show. And here I was in a 14-hour car ride finding out that that show was not going to happen as we initially scripted and planned. So after I first panicked and freaked out, I then said, okay, what do I do? Because I had approximately 45 minutes of material that I needed to use to fill in for an hour to a 90-minute show. So how do I pad that out? This is where knowing who I am as a character and understanding what I can do as a character helps. This is where having a backstory helps. This is where knowing how Phineas would react to Santa not showing up at the very last minute to help with the story time and fairy tale. And meanwhile, I had a room full of 100 people wearing their PJs, drinking cookies and warm milk and hot chocolate, despite the fact it was in Georgia in August. But at the same time, I had to prepare for that situation. So once again, knowing Phineas, knowing how he'd react to Santa not being able to show up at the last minute, creating a backstory as to why Santa couldn't show up at the last minute without laying blame on the person, because they were still at the event. And at the same time, and I fully understood, because situations happen and people are unable to follow through at times, and you just have to roll with the punches. So this is where having a good backstory for Phineas, being able to fill in the backstory, explain why, I was expecting Santa to show up, but unfortunately there was an issue at the toy factory, and then rolling into the situation, and then explaining why Phineas was sitting telling bedtime stories and singing songs to all of these people who were just sort of sitting dumbfounded, trying to figure out why they're sitting looking at this dorky elf on stage, and fully understanding that. So being able to have a solid backstory and to pull from that backstory enabled me to continue with the storytelling and possibly improvise some of the stories, improvise why Santa is not there for that moment. And, hopefully maybe at some point Santa might show up, even though he didn't, and then go from there. And then I was able to pull from other aspects of Phineas's backstory and Phineas's history, including cribbing some of the stuff that I do with Santa David, as well as with a couple of other performers, and created a show that it gave me time to prepare, because I had one more day to prepare and fill in for that extra time, but also be able to read the audience and understand where things are working and where things are not working. So as soon as something began not sitting right and something was not hitting right, I could then veer off and go try something else. And that is based on knowing who you are as a performer, knowing who you are as a character, knowing your character's backstory, and then being able to use that story to continue to build and improvise upon and continue to forward the story that you were hoping to tell. And so after dealing with that issue, pulling from other items in my repertoire that I was able to do, such as folks have seen Phineas doing the bedtime songs and the lullabies as part of what I do at conventions and other organizations. It's always important to be able to see how you can reuse things that you're able to do elsewhere in your performance, as well as and then co-opt it into what you're doing at that moment. Because best laid plans of mice and men and elves things happen, and you might not be able to follow through with what you had originally planned, but at the same time, having a full inventory, a quiver, a toolbox, a toolkit of stuff that you can pull from by knowing your backstory, knowing who you are as a character, by understanding how your character will react to that type of situation is always important. And how to do it while you're under pressure. And meanwhile, as I said, I was in front of Lee Andrews and Leon McBride and David Shiner, who taught character performance at Cirque du Soleil, as well as Santa Michael Howe and Herbie and a number of the performing Santas that we all know and love. And I managed to do it without having a complete total nervous breakdown or peeing my pants on stage. Well, it would have been difficult. I was wearing a nightshirt. But at the same time, by knowing who Phineas was, how Phineas would react to the situation, and going with the flow, following the audience, following the people I was working with, being able to continue to keep them enjoying, keep them laughing, and as a matter of fact, with a couple of the lullabies, make them cry. And that is why having a good character, having a decent backstory to pull from, was able to guide me towards working under pressure, working based on last minute changes, and then pulling through. And then it allowed me to have my nervous breakdown after I was done off the stage. Thank you and have a good day.
Good information there, man. That is so helpful to a lot of folks. I hope there's a lot there to take in and learn from. Good
Yep.
job. Okay, I was over here looking to see, and I messed up my Facebook over there. Okay, I'll come back over here. Anyway, let's go ahead and jump into our trivia answer. We do have a winner, by the way.
Excellent. So the question once more was, which popular Christmas song did the Beach Boys release in 1964? What was the date of its release, and who produced and arranged the song? And of course, that song was Little Saint Nick, Run Run Reindeer. And it was released on November 9th, 1964, and Brian Wilson produced and arranged it.
That's correct. And our winner is Santa Jerry.
Congratulations.
Jerry. And Jerry, I don't know if I have your address, your mailing address. If you would, please, sir, send that to me in a private message along with your T-shirt size. And we will get that over to Wade and Scarlett Kaufman at santascloset.org and get your care package on the way out to you.
Congratulations, Santa Jerry. I do believe he's in Missouri, but definitely he came through from YouTube. So
yes, it did, and that's why, because a lot of times Facebook we use one name. When we get on YouTube, we may change that name up a little bit, variation of it, or go in as a Santa instead of a John Doe. We go in over there as Santa John. So there are other Santa Jerrys across the country. So
yes.
If you would, please, sir, and that way we can get your care package over to you.
Welcome, Santa Mel. Good to see you. Good to see you as well, Santa Pat from Houston. Always wonderful to see you. Thank you for joining us today. Randall, thank you for the conversation, for the compliment. Thank you as well, Bill Stockwell. Great appreciate the support. I could have used it around 4 years ago when that actually happened.
Well, Randy really says it best, a true professional, and that you are, Phineas. So good job.
Fake it till you make it.
Yeah, really. For sure. Okay, let's go ahead and jump into our upcoming shows. I'll start it off here because August 25th, now that is next week, next Monday. Starting next Monday, Bob will have every other week off for the rest of the season. And Phineas, in true form, will be here holding down the fort, doing his thing, and he will have with us a very special guest we all love and dearly yearn to have back on the show. And he is feeling better, doing well. Of course, you saw him a couple of weeks while I was in Branson. But he's going to come back and fill in every other week for the next the rest of this season. Let's put it that way. It'll be about 5 shows total. Randall, Santa, Checker, Lee, and I am so excited. I hope Phineas and Randall will just knock your socks off because they are so good together.
Always love working with Randall as much as I love working with you, Bob.
Thank you, sir.
So
And
definitely looking forward to that. And we're going to give Randall some more time to take over, so you don't have to listen to me digging every week either. So heads up, Randall.
well, and he will be doing a segment at the end of the day. But if you guys both want to do segments like me and Randall did last year, that is up to y'all. It will be y'all's place to do whatever y'all want to do. When I'm not here, what do they say? When the cat's away, the mice will play. Well, you guys have fun.
Anyways, coming up tonight on the Claus Connect with Sean White at 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern is Carl White, Jolly Santa Blue Eyes. So looking forward to hearing what Carl has to say and hearing his melodious voice. It's always a good time talking to Carl. He's a great person with a lot of good information. So
yeah, I just realized I've got the wrong title in there. That was last week's title. Golly, I messed up.
Good thing Phineas does research.
Got my back again.
Got to take care of Santa.
I think the rest of the schedule is correct though. So
okay, so tomorrow night, Tuesday night live at 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern. Gina Bacon from Nationwide Santas will be present. On Wednesday, August the 20th, Kringle Time with the Kringle Brothers. They will be doing a history of Christmas and Santa. So once again, Wednesday, 7 p.m. Central, 8 p.m. Eastern with the Kringle Time at the Kringle Brothers. And Thursday night at 6 p.m. on the Santa.
That one's wrong too.
That one's wrong too?
Yeah, that one's wrong too.
So the Thursday night, you mean?
Yeah, well, I think it's going to be. I think Mel said that they were going. Well, maybe not. Maybe that's correct. Go ahead.
So Thursday night, Santa's Magical Fellowship with Santa Mel, 6 p.m. Central, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. And it is actually correct because I did check. It is polar opposites.
Yeah.
And it's bring your favorite Santa Joker story. So
I couldn't remember. She told me that J Mac and Jamie were going to do 2 full hours or just 1 hour, but it is correct.
Yeah.
She will do her 1 hour, and then they will follow with the Santa jokes and stories.
Yep.
Or stories. Open mic night. Okay. I just look at these scripts for so long that I get cross-eyed, I guess. And I can double and triple check them and think, I got it right. And then I go back the next day and I realize I missed something. So
that's why I print them out early and check them out because,
Thank you, Phineas.
Got to make Santa look good.
I don't know if that can be done or not. But hey, with that said now, I do want to say and give kudos to Elp Angela, our producer. She has worked her tail off this week, working with Evie Mux. The show went pretty smooth. Everything was in line. She's figured out how to make things come and go, and it's quite the learning curve. It was much, much more difficult learning Evie Mux opposed to StreamYard, but that's because of the complexity of Evie Mux and everything it has to offer. And so thank you, Angela, as always, fantastic job. Okay,
the first stuff that can go wrong, right? So
yeah, and of course Bob's finger. You got to watch that finger. That finger can get you in trouble. That's okay. I've learned my lesson. I think. Who knows?
And we made it into a learning opportunity, and we turned it into a chance for someone else to win the scholarship. For
we have fun with it. That's for sure.
Yep.
Hey, well, they say take lemons, make lemonade. Well, you know.
And we're always grateful for the hard work that Angela and Bob do, both on and off screen.
You again bring it week in, week out. Such a professional. Got my back. And we're excited that Randy's going to be able to come on. Now, just to let you know, I'm not really going anywhere. I'm going to be working on the house. The weather has cooled off a little bit. And even if it hasn't, my time's running low with our season coming up. So I've got to get out there and get done what I need to get done. And Randy is so gracious enough in allowing me to take 5 weeks off basically out of the next 10 shows, and every other week to get out and put a full day in. And I appreciate him very much, as well as I do you, Phineas, and everyone who joins in on Mondays, Tuesdays, who jumps over and watches Crinkle Time on Wednesday. We had a great show Wednesday night.
Yes, you
Great
did.
audience participation. It was fun. At the last minute, scheduling changed though. Spangle, I mentioned earlier that Clay Cooper will be one of the shows that we will go see this next year. He had a pop-up meeting with Tanya Lay, the Branson ticket and travel lady who takes care of all the financial side of the tickets and all sort of stuff. And so Clay had some time and wanted to have a meeting with Spangle that night, so he had to jump out of the show, run down to Branson to meet with Clay Cooper and his folks, and Santa Scottfield in, and it was a great show. We had a good time. Okay, guys, we want to say thank you again for joining us on Mondays. If it's hot where you are, stay in. If you go out, drink plenty of fluids, put a hat on, put some sunscreen on. Take caution. Don't get overheated because at our age, it can be deadly. Thank you, Phineas.
Thank you very much, Bob. Thank you, Angela. Always good to be able to work with such professionals, and always looking forward to Monday afternoons working with the two of you. So,
And we will see you guys next week. Come join us tomorrow night. Gina Bacon, always fun. Gina always brings it. She is so delightful, and it's one of our top rated shows every year. So we always look forward to having Gina back from one year to the next. Thanks, everyone. We'll see you next time.
good night, everybody. Have a good week.